Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Larissa L and you are watching my YouTube channel Parker Kate, where I feature lifestyle, beauty, and fashion videos. I have the Jaclyn Hill holiday collection. Now I have the two accent flash palettes, so the flash and the flare palette. I have two of her brushes and the Beaming Light Duo, which is a loose highlighter and brush set. So if you want to see what my thoughts are on the Jaclyn Hill Holiday Highlighter Collection, then please keep on watching. Alright guys, welcome to my video. We're going to get right into the demonstration because I'm really excited to see what these palettes look like. It's really dry in Canada today, which is why you guys are so far away from my skin, because it looks like alligator skin. I have no highlighter on or shimmers because I wanted to keep this look pretty matte, so we can test out some of the highlighters and the brushes, and I want to give you my honest thoughts and opinions to see if Jaclyn Hill redeemed herself after the disaster of Lipstick Gate that we all know that happened in August. Now, a few thoughts on the whole Lipstick Gate before I jump into Jaclyn Hill is if you're here to bash Jaclyn Hill, if you're here to hate on her products, please keep those comments to yourself. I want to keep this channel really positive. I believe that everybody does need a second chance. Disclaimer, I did order the whole set of lipsticks. They came in and they went right back. I had all of the issues that everyone was having with them. I was very grossed out and not happy, and I don't think how she handled the situation is how I personally would have handled it if I owned my own brand and if something like that did happen, but I don't, and something like that hasn't happened to me, so I think we can all, I think it's a little more, it's hard when the shoe's on the other foot to judge somebody. So I think everyone deserves a second chance, so I'm going to be giving Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics a second chance and a first official review on my channel, so let's get into it. Highlighter palettes. So I have the Flare palette and I have the Flash palette. And I'm going to go ahead and pop these open to show you guys. And we all know how I can look. I can't get into packaging. Couldn't get into my Barbie dolls when I was little. Cannot get into makeup packaging. Can't get into most things. Alright. Oh. Okay. Voila. You know what? I probably should have opened these before I started filming, because this would have made it a lot easier. So this is what the package for the highlighters come in. It's pretty sturdy. I like it. It's simple. It goes with her theme of white and silver. So this is the Flare palette, and the Flare palette is more towards medium to darker skin tones, whereas the Flash palette is probably anywhere between a light to medium skin tone palette if you're trying to decide which one to get. So I'm going to hold them up side by side. Okay, so this is the Flare palette and this is the Flash palette. Don't worry, I'm going to insert a big close-up like I always do. So this is the Flare palette. So the first color is called Glow Up. Next to that is Major Look. Below that one is Exposure. And then beside that one is called Turned On. So the first square is called Gleam. Next to that is Ice. Under that one is called Sparks. And under that one is called Mesmerized. So I'm just going to swatch these. So I don't know if you can really see these. This is the lighter palette on my skin. And the first color close to the bottom is Gleam. And then Iced is the second. The third one is Sparks, and then the last one, which pink one, is called Mesmerized. This is from the lighter palette. It's really hard to show these swatches on skin. They show up a lot better when you are applying them to the face. And these highlighter palettes were made in Italy. I don't know if that's supposed to make it a little bit more bougie because it's from Italy. I'm from Canada. It's exciting when anything's from the States. I'm going to start with the Flare palette, the Flash palette, which is the lighter palette here. So it comes with Gleaming, Iced, Sparks, and Mesmerized, and those are the colors in the palette. I'm going to go ahead and, so I'm going to actually take my finger and I'm going to swatch the first square This one is the color Gleam. It's really pretty. Then next to that is the color Iced. And I'm going to swatch that one. And then down I'm going to swatch Sparks. Ooh, I like that one, which is kind of here. And then the pink tone one, which is Mesmerized. I really like this one. I'm gonna swatch it right here. Now I don't know if you guys can really see that or if it's picking up on camera. I'm gonna insert a close-up shot later on. Don't worry if you can't see any of these colors. So far they're creamy, they're pigmented. They look like they have micro glitter in it almost. So far so good. This is what my fingers look like after I've swatched them. Now I'll be right back. I'm gonna go clean off my hands and I'm going to swatch the Flare palette. So that is what that palette looks like. So I'm gonna start. The colors are Glow Up, Made You Look, Exposure, and Turned On. So the first is this really pretty, the lightest shade. I'm gonna swatch that one. So that is Load Up. Next one is called Made You Look, which is right beside it. Then the brown one is called Exposure, the more brown highlight. And then the pink one, which is called Turned On. Okay, so that is the Flare palette. Now, these ones swatched a lot more pigmented than the other one. I'll probably use all of them. Actually, I might use a couple of the colors in the darker palette, the Flare palette for eyeshadows, because I think they're just so beautiful. So that's why I got both of the palettes. So same thing, little micro glitters. They show up a lot more on the skin. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and then we're going to get to the loose highlight beam and the brushes, and then I'm going to do a demonstration on my face, and then we're going to get into the final thoughts. Alright guys, so that was the palettes that I swatched for you, and then next we're going to talk about the brushes. I have 2 of the 3 brushes. So I have the J03 brush, which is this really pretty brush. I mean, it feels nice and soft. I think they're both synthetic. Honestly, it's not really that high quality, and I don't really think that they're really anything you need to be paying the amount of money she's charging for them. But the packaging is really pretty, and I like how it's kind of like this clear, almost acrylic at the end, and then the top starts off really like gold and glittery. It's nice, it's on brand for her, but they just feel like Morphe brushes, kind of a little bit, I don't know. So the J02 brush is a lot, it's almost, the J02 brush is just a big fluffy brush, whereas the J03 is more like a precise fan brush. Any highlighter brush would do. This is a lot probably thicker, and this is a lot thinner and more dense. So if you want to get more of a strong highlight in a more precise, like for like down the bridge of your nose or just kind of in like the outer V of your eye, I probably would do the 03. If you wanted to just do a really nice soft highlight, because this brush is a lot less dense, you can go in with the JH02 just for a regular cheek highlight. The last product that I got from her collection was this little guy right here. This is the loose highlighter in Extra. It's lit up the room with this silky soft ultra beaming highlighter. So now I'm gonna go ahead and open this one here. Oh, and you do get 4 grams worth in these little tiny ones. So it's got this little tab like most loose powders have. So I'm going to drop a little bit. So it's a very champagne color. I put a little bit in there. I'm actually going to use my finger. Ooh, that's pretty. I'm going to swatch it here. So that is the Extra loose highlighting powder. That nice one. I probably could have got up a shade. I just chose this shade because I wanted something that was going to be really light. There is a lot of sparkle in this one though. So now we're going to try some of these onto the face. So for this little one, I'm going to use the J03 brush. I'm going to swirl that around. So now it's on my brush, and I'm going to apply the color Extra to this side. Ooh, that is very pigmented. I'm impressed with that. I'm going to go in with the J02 one. Just kind of blend that out a bit. So that is a very pretty highlighter. So as far as that highlighter goes, it's pretty nice. I'm not a big fan of loose powders because I find that they get very messy, but with this it's actually really nice that it's kind of more controlled when it does come out of the cap, so you're not getting a ton of product, which is nice. So I guess she put some thought into packaging. So I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to use the J02 brush, and I'm gonna take the color Ice, and I'm gonna be applying it, ooh, that's pigmented, to this side of my face. Oh, they kind of look the same. This is a lot more creamier and probably a lot more easier to blend out, and you're getting more of a consistent. So that is the color Ice, which is from the lighter palette, the Flare palette, and that is the second one in the quad. Now I want to go and take this really pretty rose gold color called Mesmerized, and I'm just going to go on top of that. Yeah, so now it's got a lot more gold into it, which suits my skin tone a lot better, I think. That is a highlight. This is definitely not a Faint of Heart highlighting collection. This is the true Jaclyn Hill style. You know, you can see it from space highlighters. Now I'm going to go into the darker palette because I want to take this Major Look color right here, and I'm going to use that as an eyeshadow. I want to see what it will look like. Ooh, I like that. So that is what Major Look will look like as an eyeshadow, because it's a little bit too dark for me to use as a highlighter. I think it is a great eyeshadow topper, or you can just use it as an eyeshadow as you want. Then I'm going to take another finger and dip into the color Glow Up, and I'm just going to pop that into the inner corner of the eye. Alright guys, so I think I have enough highlighter on. I showed you a couple different ways you can use these highlighters, where you can put them on your lips, use them as eyeshadows, inner corner highlights. You can use them on your face and all the normal areas. You can also use them on your décolleté and your shoulders if you're wearing like a really pretty holiday dress. Now I'm going to get into my final thoughts on the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here are my final thoughts on the Jaclyn Hill Holiday Highlighter Collection. So first we're going to start with the brushes. I have two of the three brushes, the J03, which is a little tiny fan brush, and the J02, which is kind of like a highlighter brush. Packaging's really nice, it's pretty, it's on brand with her whole silver and gold and sparkles. They are synthetic brushes. This one is actually surprisingly my favorite, and it's pretty good at laying down a decent amount of color. So if you want something that's really like strong and precise, definitely go ahead and pick up the J03 brush. I wasn't really impressed with the J02 brush. It's just another normal highlighting brush. As far as quality goes, I think you can get honestly a lot better brushes for a lot cheaper price point. But if you're kind of a fan and you like to collect things from Jaclyn Hill, then maybe go ahead and pick them up. The next is the loose highlighter. So I got mine in the color Extra. I found that this was a little bit harder to blend out. Maybe it's because I used the brush that I did use to blend it out, but I do like the packaging, I like the silver, I like the frosted glass, and that you can still see the color of the product. Now, my favorite part about this is actually the dispensing part, because when you're tapping this product out, you're not going to get a whole bunch of waste because you're only getting a little bit at a time, which is nice to see that it's nice and controlled. So some thought did go into that, so I will give her extra points for that one. So we applied that highlighter to this part of my face right here on the cheekbone. It did blend out nicely. It was really pigmented, but it looks like highlighter. It doesn't look like I can melt it into this. So it's nice. I like these guys. This does come in, I think, 4 other colors. If you want to go ahead and get some super beaming from space highlighters, definitely recommend the tiny loose highlighters. And then my favorite thing in the whole collection were the palettes. The Flash palette and the Flare palette. Now, I actually like the Flare palette a lot better than the Flash palette. The Flare palette is for me more of a medium to darker skin tone, so it's nice that she has that inclusivity in her line, because a lot of people don't do that. Anyways, so that is what the Flare palette looks like. I like that I can use this personally for a lot of different things. Like, this is not going to really work as a highlighter. Maybe the first one, Glow Up, might work as a highlighter on my skin, or an inner eye highlighter, but I'm probably going to use this more for eyeshadows or toppers for my lips, or maybe if I have a tan, I can definitely pick up a little bit of the second or the third shade in this palette. It's really nice. They're really creamy and they're super pigmented. They blend out like a dream and there's no chunks of glitter. So the highlighter on this side of my face is from the other palette because it is a lighter palette, but it just looks really nice and really blended into the skin, like really melted. Like you can't see the brush streak, and maybe it's because of how I applied this highlighter with the 03 brush instead of the 02 brush. That also could be something to consider, but I'm a real big fan. I'm just going to show you what the other palette looks like. This is for medium or light to medium skin tones, and I have the color Ice and Gleam mixed together. Again, not as pigmented as the darker one, obviously, but still the same formulation, really pretty. There's no glitter. It blends out really nicely. It's not a highlighter that you're going to use if you don't want attention. If you want people to know you're wearing highlighter, then you're definitely going to pick up the highlighters from the Jaclyn Hill collection, because that's what she's known for, are her lipsticks and her see it from space highlighters. And I think as far as Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics goes and Jaclyn Hill herself, she's definitely redeemed herself with this second launch. Everything went really well. There's nothing foreign in my palettes. Everything arrived on time, no issues, no reaction, which is always nice, because you guys know I have really sensitive skin, so there is no burning on my eyelids right now, which are super dry like everything else. But at least with these highlighters, I can look like I have dewy fresh skin, which right now I don't. So there's that. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Of course, all of the information I will be listed in the description box below, as well as my social media handles. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.